Yo, what is up, everybody? Hit that subscribe button because we're about to go on a wild ride, Uzbekistan style. Big shout out to all my new subscribers. You guys are the backbone of this channel. I've been living for your comments on my last video, especially all the love for that drone shot of the Registan. Speaking of epic, get ready to dive deep into the heart of Uzbekistan. I'm talking about the kind of stuff you won't find in your average travel brochure. We're going off the beaten path. No music, just the raw, cinematic experience of Uzbekistan. You ready? Let's go! All right, buckle up because we're starting strong. This is the Derwiz crater, better known as the door to hell. And trust me, this place lives up to its name. Imagine a giant fiery pit in the middle of the Kyzylkum desert, spewing flames day and night. That's the door to hell. It's been burning non-stop for over 50 years, and the story behind it is wild. Back in the 70s, Soviet geologists were drilling for natural gas when they accidentally hit a massive underground cavern. The ground collapsed, swallowing their rig and releasing a torrent of methane gas. To prevent the gas from spreading, they decided to light it on fire, thinking it would burn off in a few days. Little did they know, they just created one of the most bizarre tourist attractions on Earth. The sheer size of this thing is mind-blowing. You feel the heat radiating off of it from hundreds of feet away, and the roar of the flames is deafening. Standing at the edge, peering into the inferno, you can't help but feel a sense of awe and terror. It's a stark reminder of the power of nature and the unexpected consequences of human actions. From one extreme to another, get ready to be transported back in time. We're in Samarkand, one of the oldest continuously inhabited cities in Central Asia. This place was a major hub on the ancient Silk Road, and it's like stepping into a real-life Arabian Nights story. The architecture here is unlike anything you've ever seen. We're talking towering minarets covered in intricate turquoise tiles, madrasas, Islamic schools that look like palaces, and mausoleums that will blow your mind. The Registan is the crown jewel of Samarkand. It's a vast square flanked by 3 massive madrasas, each one more impressive than the last. The level of detail in the tile work is unbelievable, with geometric patterns and calligraphy that seem to go on forever. You could spend days just wandering through the streets of Samarkand, soaking up the history and culture. This is probably one of the most surreal and heartbreaking places I've ever been. This is Minak, once a bustling fishing port on the shores of the Aral Sea. But now, it's a desolate wasteland, miles away from the water's edge. What happened? Well, it's a man-made disaster of epic proportions. In the 1960s, the Soviet Union diverted the rivers that fed the Aral Sea for irrigation projects. Over the next few decades, the sea slowly disappeared, leaving behind a toxic dust bowl and a graveyard of abandoned ships. Walking among these rusting hulks, half buried in the sand, you can almost hear the ghosts of sailors past. It's a stark reminder of the devastating impact we can have on the environment. The Aral Sea crisis is a story that needs to be told, and these shipwrecks are a haunting memorial to the human cost of environmental neglect. All right, enough with the heavy stuff. Let's talk about something delicious. Uzbek bread, or as the locals call it, naan. This isn't your average loaf of bread. Baked in traditional clay ovens called tanders, naan is a staple of Uzbek cuisine and a symbol of hospitality. The moment you step off the plane in Uzbekistan, someone will offer you a piece of naan with a warm smile. And trust me, you won't be able to resist. The smell alone is intoxicating. Each region of Uzbekistan has its own unique way of making naan, with different shapes, sizes, and decorations. Some are topped with sesame seeds, others with onions or herbs. But one thing they all have in common is a crispy crust and a soft, chewy interior. Get ready to have your mind blown by Soviet-era engineering. This is the Parkent Solar Furnace, a massive scientific facility located just outside of Tashkent. Built in the 1980s, this place looks like something straight out of a science fiction film. Imagine a giant concave mirror, 54 meters high. focusing the sun's rays onto a single point. That's the basic principle behind a solar furnace, and it can generate incredibly high temperatures, up to 3,000 degrees Celsius. The Parkent solar furnace is one of the largest in the world, and it's still used today for scientific research and industrial applications. Hold on tight because things are about to get wild. This is Buzkashi, a traditional Central Asian sport that's not for the faint of heart. Imagine a chaotic mix of polo, rugby, and wrestling, all played on horseback with a headless goat carcass. Yeah, you heard that right. In Buzkashi, two teams of riders battle it out to grab the goat carcass, called a kokpar, and carry it to a designated scoring area. It's a brutal and exhilarating sport requiring incredible horsemanship, strength, and a high tolerance for pain. We're heading deep into the heart of Uzbekistan, to the Kyzylkum desert. This vast expanse of sand dunes stretching for miles in every direction is one of the most remote and unforgiving landscapes on Earth. But don't let the harsh conditions fool you. The Kyzylkum desert is teeming with life. From hardy desert plants to elusive desert foxes and gazelles, this place is a testament to the resilience of nature. We're going to spend the night in a traditional yurt, sleeping under the stars and listening to the silence of the desert. It's an experience that will stay with you long after you leave. Get ready for sensory overload at its finest. We're at the Chorsu Bazaar in Tashkent, the largest and oldest market in Uzbekistan. This is the heart and soul of the city, a bustling labyrinth of stalls selling everything from spices and dried fruits to handmade carpets and traditional clothing. The sights, sounds, and smells of the Chorsu Bazaar are overwhelming in the best possible way. You can find just about anything here, and the bargaining is fierce. It's a great place to experience the local culture and pick up some unique souvenirs. Forget about your average subway system because the Tashkent Metro is in a league of its own. Built during the Soviet era, each station is like an underground palace, decorated with intricate mosaics, chandeliers, and marble columns. It's a truly unique and beautiful way to get around the city, and the best part, it's incredibly affordable. A single ride will only set you back a few cents. In Uzbekistan, tea isn't just a drink, it's a ritual, a way of life. Offered everywhere you go as a sign of hospitality, Uzbek tea is typically green tea, served in small ornate bowls called pialas. The tea is poured from a special teapot called a choynak, and it's considered rude to fill the cup to the top. Instead, the host will pour a small amount of tea, allowing the guest to savor the flavor and enjoy the conversation. It's a beautiful tradition that reflects the warmth and generosity of the Uzbek people. So there you have it, 10 bizarre and wonderful things you won't believe exist in Uzbekistan. From the fiery depths of the door to hell to the ancient streets of Samarkand, this country is full of surprises. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on my next adventure. Next up, we're exploring the abandoned amusement park on the outskirts of Tashkent. It's going to be epic.